In episode number 316 of the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, we cover the Harley Quinn trailer on the DC Universe app.
And because it's a brand new month, we will cover what's new on Netflix for October.
We also take a look at those Wal-Mart exclusive DC comic books, as Julian from Lazy Gaming Guys was able to nab some for us.
All of this and so much more on today's show.
Hello and welcome to your Podcast Awards nominated 2017 and 2018, The Reasons I'm Broke podcast. I am Darth Vaydaniel.
And I am Emperor Kelli. I sound like a dying animal. And
You're like that sounds like a beluga a little bit.
A beluga?
A beluga whale?
Oh.
To any new listeners to the show, the way we format it is we go through some news, we head into our Patreon shoutouts of the week, the Bro Kept block, in which we cover some of the more personal aspects of the podcast, and then we end it with a comic book review or an interview at the end of the day, which at this case, it is the Wal-Mart comic books.
But with that, we're going to jump straight into the part that you are all here for, which is our news.
So here's where we get into some speculation territory, Brocat Core. According to The Hollywood Reporter, 20th Century Fox has set the PG-13 cut of 2016's Deadpool to release this year on December 21st, just in time for Christmas.
Because that's what we all want to see, is a PG-13 Deadpool for Christmas.
I'm not going to deny that this will make 20th Century Fox probably a couple of million out there. A lot of teenagers will want to go see it. The people that weren't allowed to see the R-rated cut, they're like, well, you see the Marvel movies and those are PG-13, so I guess you can watch this PG-13 cut of Deadpool. Now, where some people are getting into speculation territory, and it's the fellow DCEU shill, because that's what we're called. There's the sheep and then us, the shill, the fanboys, the fangirl.
But why shill? What does shill stand for? I'm very confused.
It's very similar to sheep.
No, there's no animal called a shill.
Look, they came up with this, and look at the movies they revere. So, I mean, you've got to, this is what they have.
Why couldn't we be the DC fan belugas? That I could go, Snyder Cut. Affleck is Batman. I've changed the names. We are now the DC Belugas.
DC Belugas, fine.
All right,
I'll go with it.
Then, thank you.
People are saying that this might be a mandate from Disney since they are going to own all of this.
All right.
Trying to see if, like, why don't you do a PG-13 cut and get them used to this, and then eventually we'll release a PG-13 version of Deadpool 3.
It makes zero sense. I think that's super speculation.
I think so too. It's a little bit too tinfoil, and I honestly don't think that Disney will ever, just like they haven't done it with their Netflix properties, they're not going to cross over R-rated product, R-rated properties with what they have that is PG-13. Mm-hmm. There's a huge branding protection that comes with being Disney, that you're not going to mix those things up. This is why, from even far off, when they kept saying, well, maybe you'll see the Defenders and the rest fighting in Infinity War. Of course, that didn't happen. You're seeing Jennifer Jones, again, getting it up the asshole. You think you're going to get that character, that same character in the Avengers? No, you got to sell Happy Meal toys. You got to sell merchandise and T-shirts.
Well, I also don't foresee Disney telling the studio, okay, you have to do this. And then the studio going, oh, yeah, I guess that's fine. Just let me spend all this extra money to put together a completely different cut just for you guys.
Well, they are still making a profit on this, but I don't think, I agree with you. I don't think this is a Disney mandate.
Right. If Disney takes over, when Disney, whatever. I just don't see another Deadpool happening. Boop, that's done.
If it does, it will be its own thing.
Right.
It won't be an MCU film.
Oh, no. Absolutely not. You're not going to see your precious Iron Man.
Since he seems to show up in everything, that's the one thing he's not going to show up in that and on Netflix.
But they need to be together.
Them and their fucking togetherness. Because of this, Alita Battle Angel has been pushed back to February 14th of next year, which in turn replaces X-Men Dark Phoenix's opening.
You know what I think of Alita Battle Angel? Because I just learned about this.
Who cares?
I don't even know what the fuck Alita Battle Angel is.
It's based on an anime. I believe this is the one in which it got a lot of flack for the character having the giant anime eyes, even though it is a live-action movie.
Who cares? Not me. Haven't even heard of this Battle Angel shit.
Because of this, it's now called Dark Phoenix, by the way. They recently dropped the X-Men portion of the title. As of like today. It is Dark Phoenix, moved to the summer 2019, specifically in June. One of the things that they attributed to the move on Dark Phoenix is, one, they said that the trailer they released a few days ago, which we covered last week, was not supposed to have the date on it of May or whatever. And they're like, yeah, that wasn't supposed to be in that trailer. It was supposed to say coming soon because we're actually in the middle of reshoots due to making the third act, which is very common with any big blockbuster. You're going to have reshoots no matter what it is. All the Marvel movies had them. DC has them. This movie's going to have them. But they actually gave the reason, which is to give the third act a greater scope and have it a bigger threat than what they, I guess, initially had. And due to this change, they had to go back and refilm some scenes that take place earlier in the movie just to make sure it all flows.
So it wasn't supposed to have the date, but it got released worldwide. Who the hell is losing their job? How did that pass through so many hands and nobody went, wait a second?
There's a lot of miscommunication when it comes to these things, because one of the biggest ones was in Justice League, when I think it might have been Jay Olivia, who said that when that first trailer released, the first time we got a look at Justice League, it was right when they said, hold on a second, we had just done a bunch of cuts on this thing. Oh my God, I can't believe that release, because they knew what was not going to make it in the film. And when they saw what showed up in the trailer, they're like, shit, like it's too late. Like, I don't know why they released that one. Why didn't we recut a new one? And I guess it was just, there is a lot of miscommunication going on when they do these trailers. Like it's between the marketing and the production.
I get that, but is there not somebody who's over, like, does marketing not make it and then send it to them and say, hey, can you approve this shit?
I'm guessing everything goes to deadlines. So because of that, they're just like, oh, fuck. I think I checked everything. Go. I'm not getting fired.
It's a 30-second fucking preview. You can't find 30 seconds in your day to view it. Like, somebody who knows what the fuck is going on can't view it and then say, oh, yeah, this piece is wrong. Make another one. Hold on a second.
Why is there a date on it? Guys, why is there a date?
Just put coming soon. What the hell? We're reshooting shit.
Hey, Jim, did you see this? Like, the one guy is like noticing, like, am I crazy here?
And somebody else is like, no, just send it. And he's like, what? Are you guys even, like, paying attention?
No, it comes out in June. Really? It does? Yeah. Oh, all right. That's probably what happened. Or May in this case.
Right.
And then they realized, wait a minute, no, it doesn't. Fuck. You guys.
God. You would think they would be more organized. Obviously, none of us care, but you would think.
The Marvel sheep did care. They were saying,
we care.
Look how unorganized they are. Oh, and they were just laughing it up.
Why is no one viewing this?
They were actually mad. They're like, this is the last gasp of air that Fox has with Marvel. Why can't we just get it sooner so that it can just die? It's like, yeah, you're getting your fucking wish. Fuck off already, man. Instead of, see, this is how these sheep think. Instead of wanting, like, you know what, I hope this is actually a pretty good movie. They just want it to show up so they can shit on it, and then they can have their comedian X-Men in the MCU in 3, 4, 5 years.
I want them to really enjoy this movie and then go, yes, it's because Disney's taking over.
Probably. If it's a good movie, they will attribute Disney.
Of course they will. And you know what? We will probably enjoy it, and they will not. So, hey, at least it's a good movie for us.
Fox also gave a new release date to Gambit, which is now scheduled to March 13th, 2020. But this is one of those, like, in case something happens with this Disney deal, we need to have things in line. And that's why we don't know if the Disney buyout is going to affect any of this.
Well, see, it's supposed to release March 13th, 2020, but it will probably release in who cares?
You don't care about Gambit either?
No, I don't care about Gambit. Wasn't he the guy with the cards in that one X-Men game or video movie, whatever, who was just like shitty and nobody liked him anyway?
A lot of people like Gambit, though.
You know who doesn't?
The Palpa Kelli.
The Palpa Kelli.
The Emperor.
Gambit is not Palpa approved, so...
There should be a Palp approval website.
Yeah.
That replaces Rotten Tomatoes, because that's more legitimate than fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
Like the Palp approved rating. Moana is slowly going up in the Palp approved rating.
It's already Palp approved, though. So there's different levels of Palp approvedness.
Of course. There's sort of Palp approved. There's definitely Palp approved. There's fuck yeah Palp approved. And there's hell no Palp approved. Palpa disproved.
Don't you mean unapproved?
Whatever.
You're like, that's it, Daniel. You're disapproved. It's like, damn it.
Palpa no. You got a Palpa yes and a Palpa no.
Here's something that got sent my way from Maceo, actually. He had a question on, wasn't Titans supposed to be exclusive to the DC Universe app? And we have your answer right here.
Mm-hmm. So Netflix has landed a deal with Warner Brothers to stream Titans in international markets post-original run. So again, that's international markets, not in the U.S.
Correct. Titans is going to remain exclusive to the DC Universe app in North America. They'll probably have Blu-rays, DVDs, releases, and you can get it that way too. But if you want to stream it here in the U.S., it's going to be only in the app.
Netflix has a similar international deal with Paramount on Star Trek Discovery.
That's why they had Star Trek Discovery commercials with the Netflix logo on it, just like the Titans one. Mm-hmm. But these are international trailers that are marketing to Europe and everywhere else in the world. So that's one thing. I was even tricked by that. I'm like, great, so we'll get Netflix Star Trek Discovery. I don't have to get that CBS streaming app or whatever it was. And not the case. So I still have not seen Star Trek Discovery, as big a fan of Star Trek as we are.
Mm-hmm. I am super excited for Titans. You should be getting the DC Universe app anyway. Because there's so many great things on it. But I'm excited for Titans because we got that cool screenshot of him and Starfire kissing. Robin and Starfire. And I'm like, yes, they're in love.
There was a new thing where Robin talks about how he did not want to turn into him, referencing Batman.
Of course.
They apparently do reference Batman quite a bit in the show because Jason Todd and Dick Grayson are both in the live-action show. They're saying that Red Hood might be the villain for the first season, and then by the end we'll get Nightwing, is the rumor at least. We don't really know. But if you have Jason Todd, you're going to have the Red Hood.
You have to have the Red Hood if you have Jason Todd.
Do you think they will actually show a DC Universe Batman at all at some point?
I don't really think so. I think if they did, it would be something similar to what they did with Superman and Supergirl.
Exactly.
Where it was just like real far away. Wasn't that all they did with him? Yeah. Like he was real animated and far away.
Or he was communicating via text like, good job, Kara.
Great job.
You're the greatest.
That's what we get from Batman all the time. Good job, Dick. But watching your progress and you're doing great. Fuck him. I don't want to be Batman.
But he saves the email because he does care. And he wants to be Batman.
He puts it in great things folder. Read this when you're down folder. That's it.
Another bit of news that got sent our way from many Brocat Core members. They were on top of it and they're like, hey guys, you love, and we all love, Batman the Animated Series, 1993's animated film, and best Batman movie of all time, Batman Mask of the Phantasm, will be returning to theaters for one night only to celebrate its 25th anniversary.
This will be November 12th, and it will be in 500 theaters participating through Fathom Events.
Kevin Conroy on Twitter earlier today retweeted the news and called it the best Batman movie of all time.
Well, because it is.
To which a bunch of websites brought it up and said, Kevin Conroy just called Batman Mask of the Phantasm the best movie of all time, even greater than The Dark Knight. And it's like, have you guys not known? There's been 25 years of this movie existing. For 25 years, it's been the greatest Batman movie of all time.
A 100% Palp approval.
That's right.
We're going to switch back over to the DC Universe app, which has released its first trailer to the animated Harley Quinn show exclusive to the streaming service.
We have a change here on who will voice Harley Quinn, and now it is Kaley Cuoco Coco, based on Big Bang Theory's Penny. So now we have 2 cast members from Big Bang Theory that have voiced Harley Quinn in the animated world.
I'll say, listening to this trailer, I think I like her Harley Quinn better than whatever her name, Big Boobs McGee. I don't know. I don't remember her name.
And Tara Strong as well.
Yes, and her as well.
Because none will ever be Arlene Sorkin.
Never.
And especially when people mistake Tara Strong as the voice of Harley Quinn.
I don't know how they could.
That gets me boiling.
It makes me so angry. I remember I noticed it before you did too. I will always throw that out there.
Well, Kelli is voicing this Harley Quinn based on the concept art we got first. We thought it was going to be a new 52 bit of the animated show, and it still could be. But in this trailer, we actually got classic Harley along with a emo Poison Ivy, I guess. Like it's like Raven in Poison Ivy's body.
Yeah, that's fine. We do not have Harley's normal accent, though. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, no accent at all. She's not trying really to implement the Arlene Sorkin that we know. More or less trying to make it her own thing, but not to the point where it bugs me, if that makes any sense.
Right. No, I was very okay with the change because she still had, I guess, the upbeatness is the word I would use of Harley, you know, that very bubbliness with that kind of dark undertone that Harley always has, right? Without having the accent. So very, very similar to the Harley that we're used to, the Harley that we love, the original Harley, just without the accent.
And the animation looked like it matches what we're getting now from the DC Universe movies. So it actually almost looked like the same type of program or whatever design that they used for the Harley Quinn and Batman animated movie that was based on like the animated series.
She was getting busy with Robin. That's the only shit I remember from that movie.
Yeah, I'm okay with this. Like, it looks really neat. The only thing, again, is Poison Ivy is very out of character. And also, I guess it would be New 52 Harley, in which she is breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, but Batman was fucking hilarious, too. There's no laughs in Arkham. Ah, Batman!
They talk about the DC Universe in it. Like, the one bit that I was like, that's fucking funny is when Poison Ivy says, this should be a dark, depressing show, just like the rest of the DC Universe stuff. And Harley said something along the lines of, and yeah, this is a good way to make film and movies.
Yeah.
Really funny. I thought that was hilarious. The other thing, too, is, yeah, it did break the fourth wall, which is more like the comics, not our classic Harley. So it is a little bit jarring seeing the animated series Harley Quinn name-dropping Deadpool, name-dropping the DC movies and the DC Universe. It's a little weird, and it perpetuates that idea that people think, like, that's Harley Quinn. It's like, no, that's not Harley Quinn. That's New 52 Harley. That is not our particular taste and what we grew up on with Harleen.
I will say, though, just seeing the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a funny show. I feel like I'm going to enjoy this show. I feel like it's going to make fun of a lot of the DC universe and maybe of itself, just like we saw with the Teen Titans Go movie, where it makes fun of those things. And to me, that's fucking hilarious.
No release date has been given to this DC Universe streaming exclusive, I'm guessing at some point next year.
Cannot wait for this show, but something else that people cannot wait for is their copy of Batman Damned #1.
And they're going to have to pay up the ass on eBay.
They're going to go, damn.
Or they're going to have to get it digitally because DC Comics has informed the retailers, and I don't know why they're doing this, that they will not be doing second printings of Batman Damned #1.
Sucks for everybody who didn't pick up their copy.
It sucks for retailers. It sucks for everyone that didn't get a copy. It sucks for people that just want to read the story.
I want there to be retailers out there who saw the bat penis and threw their copies away because they were not going to have those on the stands.
Morons.
Fucking idiots.
I'm upset by this as someone who works at a comic shop because I know I could have sold second printings of Batman Damned #1. It's ridiculous. I think it's silly. I think they should change their mind and actually release the second printings. But instead, what we're getting is a delay to Batman Damned #2, which is now going to be pushed back by 2 weeks in November because this is a bi-monthly release. And then #3 is going to be released 3 months later on March 13th.
Why are they delaying it?
That's what's weird to me because the obvious joke that people have gone to is now they have to erase the rest of the Batman's scrotum in number 2 and Batman's anus in number 3.
I'm thinking they're going to draw in Batman's penis in number 2 and 3. They're like, well, this sells books.
Maybe there is more nudity in 2 and 3, not necessarily Batman's, but I know Harley's on the cover of number 2, so maybe there was some female nudity in that they had to change. We don't really know the reason to this. I threw out the idea of maybe they're going to do 5 issues now after how number 1 sold. Like, they're going to extend it by 2. And that's the obvious pun also, like they're extending it. I don't know. Did you see Frank Cho's sketch cover that he did based on this? He always does like those outrage comic blanks in which he'll make fun of some current thing. And in this case, he sells them at conventions for thousands of dollars, like a single copy. He does not do commissions at shows. Not a very nice person either, but his artwork is phenomenal. Very much like Neil Adams. So in this case, he has Batman holding the Batman Damned and Catwoman telling him, this is why I didn't marry you. And he's like, it's very cold in the Batcave. And then the Batman who laughs, like peeking over and laughing as well. And then Ant-Man, he's underneath, or it might be the Atom. It might have been Ant-Man. One of the two is down there real small. And he's like, hey, size doesn't matter. And I'm like, fucking Frank Cho.
You know what is funny, though, because you mentioned Harley's female nudity, like, potentially. If that had been in the first issue, there would have been no words about it.
Not at all.
It's only because it was a penis, and how dare they objectify men. I'm sorry. I've been on a woman power, like, rant today.
And guys got uncomfortable, as you mentioned, down there, and that's why it's a big thing.
And there's like, another penis. Circumcised penis at that. A shadow.
People kept saying that too, like, so, penis. And someone's like, he might not be, like, you don't really, I guess he could have just been unrolled, if you will.
I have so many questions that I'm not going to ask. A lot. I'm not going to ask them here on the show, because one broquette would be like, well, Kelly, would respond.
I guess we got to move on then.
Before we keep talking about the bat penis. I think 2 and 3 will also sell very well, even though they're delayed. Like you said, it was bi-monthly anyway, so...
I've had a lot of people, like, suddenly, add that to my sub, but it's like, yeah, I get it, but speculators also are like, can I get 2 copies of 2 and 3? It's like, they're not going to have the penis in 2 and 3.
They don't know. Sell them. Just sell them.
Well, the problem I have sometimes is a lot of these speculators will pre-order it, and as soon as they realize, like, oh, there's nothing to these issues, they'll just leave them. And that's 2 extra copies that we then had to order for these speculators. Now we keep track of that, and we're like, nah, next time we're not. But it's still, you still pay for it at the time, especially with these issues that are probably going to be premium price.
I really, really want them to be delaying this because they're hiding a penis somewhere. Like 3 or 4 penises.
It's like, where's Waldo or something?
Where's Bruce's dick? Go find it.
Continuing in the world of DC Comics, in November's next month, there's going to be a 6-issue Justice League Aquaman Drowned Earth crossover event. Each of these comics are going to feature your very own Daniel variant based on the upcoming Aquaman film. Aquadan, can we call it? Aqua
yes,
Daniel?
Perfect. I'm glad that you read this title, because when I read it, I read that Aquaman had drowned, and I was like, this makes no sense, DC Comics. Why is Aquaman drowning? That is his name, and it implies no drowning.
I wouldn't put it past them. Like, you'd have to read to find out. Like, and that's how you sell the book. Genius. You just sold something to them. Good job.
I just did it.
Artists include Francis Manapul, love Francis, Francesco Mattina, who is red hot right now, Ben Oliver, and more, all of which are doing your very own Daniel in comic books yet again, showing up at a comic shop near you.
Speculators need to be jumping on this shit.
I'm not signing any of their copies.
No.
Only the broquettes.
So the crossover begins with the Justice League Aquaman Drowned Earth #1 by James Tynion IV and Howard Porter on Halloween, October 31st.
That's going to be a crazy fucking day, because not only is it New Comic Book Day, happens to land on a Wednesday, it's also Halloween Comic Fest.
Yeah.
I know it's supposed to be that Saturday, but there's going to be kids going out and trick-or-treating on actual Halloween, and I'll have that with the people coming in for their new books. I'm going to try to dress up. I was actually looking at Woker Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Okay.
And I was like, his hair, he's kind of balding as well. And then I looked at I was like, oh, wait, I just got a haircut. I can't really, because I was about to track down like a very similar suit that he wears in the movie coming out next year. And cheap, fucking face paint and done. Like, it's a pretty easy cosplay. I mean,
except you have your beard.
Oh, fuck, I goddamn forgot the beard. I don't care. I'll do a Cesar Romero and just paint it white.
Just paint over.
And people will understand.
Why don't you go as Aquaman? Fish out your Aquaman costume.
I could. Yeah, I might. I don't know if I can go shirtless to work, though.
You could wear his, like, woolly outfit from Justice League. When he's in, like, that big coat in the
winter. I could. I mean, that was a Snyder scene, so yeah. At least part of it was 10% of it.
I mean, what else would you want to go as?
The Joker. Walker.
Okay, well, let's go to Goodwill and we'll find you a red suit and we'll call it a day.
Yeah, maybe I'll go as Aquaman. But if I can't wear a shirt, I got to have like that tattoo t-shirt thing.
That's fine.
I'm sure someone sells it.
Maui. You can get the Maui.
I'll just get the Maui. Wasn't that deemed racist? Do you remember that?
No.
Yeah, they pulled those from stores because it was deemed racist by Hawaiians and people of that culture.
The Maui shirt?
Yeah, because it's culturally their tattoos and it represents them, and they equated it to like, almost like blackface and like a sombrero and everything else.
But it's Maui.
Yeah, but again, the tattoos represent that culture.
Conflicted. What else do Hawaiians have going for them?
Jesus Christ. Aside from their beautiful island? Fuck. And their culture?
I actually have a friend who lives in Hawaii, and she says they pretty much live in the 90s. Like, nothing's been updated since the 90s.
I mean, don't you love the 90s, though?
I do love the 90s, but...
Are they listening to Savage Garden every day?
That was like 30 years ago. She said there's not even hamsters on the island. She had to fucking leave Hawaii to see a hamster.
I believe that. Like, the only way a hamster would get there is via a pet from an American.
But that's the thing. They don't have pet shops that sell hamsters. How do you not have a pet shop that sells... What kind of world is Hawaii?
We'll have to overspend and one day go.
We will. When she gets married. It's a done deal. We better start saving now.
So back to this crossover. Like, the highlight of this event, Drowned Earth, is one, you're going to have variants with my face on it that you can pick up throughout the nation, throughout the world. But in case you want to know more about the actual story, what this one-shot will encompass, we've got Pelpa Kelli right here telling us all about it.
This 48-page one-shot introduces the Ocean Lords, who are kind of like the Ocean Masters, but maybe less obvious about their intentions. I don't know who the Ocean Lords are. Oh, they're ancient, powerful deities.
And you're going to have to read to find out. It's always what I tell people, and it's such a surefire way to like, well, that's true.
Ooh, I guess you're right. So the Ocean Lords are ancient, powerful deities with a plan to flood the world. What a fucking shitty plan. Like, oh, let's just flood the world.
Magneto did that in the Ultimates.
Can they just come up with something better, really? We're the ocean.
That's the greatest thing they can do, though. Like, imagine floating...
How do you know? How do you know that's the best they can do?
Because they're surrounded by literally a weapon.
You know what I would do if I was an Ocean Lord? Let me finish this and then I'll tell you. As the rest of the League races to stop the waters from rising, Arthur faces off against his nemesis, Black Manta, in a must-win battle if he is to retain his connection to the world's oceans.
So, how would you?
No, let me ask you this first. If you could control all the water in the world and you wanted to get back at people, land people, what would you do?
Drown them.
But then
because it would ruin everything.
Now you're killing all the animals too.
They don't care about that. They only care about their underwater world.
So you control all the water in the world and all you want to do is drown the entire world and say, there you go. You're all dead.
Another thing you can do is, if you really wanted to be an asshole, I don't know how possible this is, but you drown all fresh water with salt water and you can also kill people that way. They will have no water to drink.
That's all you want to do?
What would you do? Go ahead and tell me.
Because here's the thing. Ultimately, you're killing people, and then they're dead. And then what? They don't remember. You can't do shit anymore, right? Because you killed them all.
So problem solved, then. What's the issue?
No, because then you're done. You can't continually... They don't know that you're now getting back at them.
Who cares? Like, who cares?
No,
you stop them.
I care, because I want to make them miserable. Like, would you rather kill them or just make them miserable for the rest of their life?
What would you do?
I would do bullshit like when they're taking a dump, I'd splash the water.
Jesus. So you'd become a prankster. You'd become Aqua Joker. But not deadly.
I would inconvenience them for the rest of their fucking life. That is what I would do. Because to be like, fucking ocean lords, like, trying to take a dump and now all this shit water is back up on me.
Do you think you'd ever be like just ignored? Like, I just gotta work. I gotta go to work. I can't clean this up right now. And then you fucking leave. Like, and you're like,
I'm sure
I guess I ruined their day.
But then I'd be sitting there like, he smells like ass all day. Then you get to work and he smells like ass, and someone would be like, ocean lords, and they'd be like, oh, fuck yeah. Fucking ocean lords.
Fucking ocean lords.
It would be perfect. Like, you would inconvenience people forever, and then I would choose to kill them, maybe. Like, wait until they were, like, really annoyed and be like, my life sucks because of these ocean lords. And then, done.
I think this is one crossover we're going to have to read because we are picking up Justice League. Mm-hmm. They are leading into this Drowned Earth storyline. And so far, like, I don't like these crossovers. I don't like how we have to now get 2 issues of something that we're probably not reading just to get the story. But if the story's good enough, I guess I'll fucking do it. And we're doing it with Witching Hour.
Well, it's got you on the cover, right?
And it's got me on the variants.
Already we have to get that. And then, can't we just frame it and then I don't have to worry about family pictures?
Pretty much.
Just be like, oh, yep, there you are.
We can buy 100 copies and throw them up as giveaways, sign a few every now and again.
Yeah, there you go.
Free with a pin purchase, because I got to move those.
How many do we have left?
I like 70 out of 100.
So we still sold 30.
I guess. We've had it for a while.
That's good.
That's a word for it. I have lost money on it.
Let's get you haven't lost money yet.
No, that
like once you sell all of them.
I'm still in the negative though. Like it's like back issues. When a comic shop throws them in the back issue bins, it's like, oh, they have back issues. But up until they sell them, they have lost money on all those books.
Let's just get a table at MegaCon and then you can sell them there.
How much is a table at MegaCon? More than the pins.
Well, I mean, if MegaCon's making us pay for our passes, it's really not that much more.
Really?
Because our passes are like $60 a piece, right? For the weekend?
Yes.
So $120 for the weekend. A art table in Artist Alley is like $130 and it comes with 2 badges.
Done.
And a table.
Done. Jesus, why don't more people do this?
I don't know.
All right,
I thought
we're doing
it was brilliant. Unless they raise the prices. We'll have to look into this.
Our last bit of news before we head into the Brocat block, our Patreon shoutouts, and then when we take a look at these Wal-Mart comic books, it's what's new on Netflix. New month. We've got our highlights for October 2018.
Remember, guys, these are just what we find most important, what we enjoy and are excited to see on Netflix, not necessarily the whole list. So you can go to Google or Bing or whatever search engine you use.
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves? Is that still a thing?
It's still around.
Really?
Like almost the exact same logo of like,
Saying let's Google something is a verb now. Why isn't everybody using Google? Whatever. Anyway, you can head over to your favorite search engine and type what's new on Netflix October 2018 and read the full list there.
First one on this list is The Shining, which is the 1980s movie, not the TV show, made for TV show. But this one it's by Kubrick, the great late Kubrick, and also starring Jack Nicholson.
It's fucking spooky.
Were you scared by this one?
I was. It weirded me out. It was very intense.
Very intense psychological horror.
Mm-hmm. I think it was more intense because I was at your house and I wasn't supposed to be at your house because we were still very young.
It is one of those movies that you must see before you die.
We also have Anger Management, Black Dynamite, Blade 1 and 2. Oh, I skipped through a lot.
Yeah, you're going through fucking these movies. Holy shit, man. We're only like over half an hour in. We got to fill in some time here. What's going on? Anger Management.
Which I've never seen.
Also starring Jack Nicholson.
I've never seen Anger Management.
That's the one where Adam Sandler...
I don't like Adam Sandler.
...has an anger problem.
I don't like Adam Sandler.
And Jack Nicholson has to solve that shit for him.
Who cares? Doesn't Jack Nicholson also have an anger problem in it?
He's a therapist, but like he pretends to, but it's all part of the training. And he pretty much brings him to the brink, but at the end you find out that he actually fixed his life. So it was very out of the box type of healing.
So thank you for telling me about this movie because now I don't have to watch it.
You don't have to. It was one of those that I really enjoyed when it came out. But I really like Jack Nicholson, and I did like the Adam Sandler. That was that period where his movies were pretty fun.
No. I've yet to see an Adam Sandler movie that I like.
Punch Drunk Love.
I mean, it was okay, but
I
would have liked it better. I would have liked it better without Adam Sandler. I just don't like him. I don't know. Find me an Adam Sandler movie that I'll like. I'll watch it, but...
As you mentioned earlier, Black Dynamite, which is like a parody blaxploitation film that I have to see. My manager recommended that to me, said it was hilarious. I've got to watch it, and finally on Netflix. Yes, I cannot fucking wait.
Do you think it'll be better than the Medea movies?
It's going to be close.
Is anything better than the Medea movies?
It's going to be really close.
Can I tell you, I use the fucking hallelujah.
I love that gif.
I use it all the time. When someone like texts in our group chat at work, like, oh, this was done. I'm always like, hallelujah.
Blade and Blade 2, which saved the Marvel Studios.
I haven't seen either of these either.
It's been a long, long time since I've seen them, but it is to credit really why Marvel is not owned by Warner Brothers at this point or being published with DC, because as soon as Blade came out, they were in bankruptcy. They were in the red. Blade came out, brought him back, got him enough money to produce Spider-Man, and the rest is history. Mm-hmm. So all the MCU sheep should thank Blade for all of these things that we have now, including even the DC Universe.
But we won't.
No, they credit Iron Man. That's what they credit, and Lord Feige.
Oh, is that who he is? Lord Feige?
He's Lord Feige.
Does he work under Kelli? 'Cause I'll fire his ass.
You should. Please do.
Something we stopped keeping up on was Gotham. They are releasing season 4.
Which they already announced that they're going to wrap up the story. And I can't remember if it was season 5 or 6, but they have a plan already in place. V for Vendetta on the DC Universe side, or Vertigo, now known as DC Vertigo. And that was by the Wachowskis, who later on did Speed Racer, which I really fucking adored. I did enjoy V for Vendetta when that came out, but I haven't seen it again in quite some time.
All of us enjoyed V for Vendetta when it came out because we were high schoolers and it spoke to us.
Do you remember when Doomsday Clock was really rolling and we got like, oh, Sandman showing up and we got the Watchmen? We kept calling like, what if V comes up? Like, that'd be amazing. So far, not yet. But that's how you end Doomsday Clock, Jeff. My buddy Jeff Johns, we may or may not have spoken about that. You may or may not see V in DC.
I like all the you may or may not. You probably won't. Next, we have Joe Rogan, Strange Times. This is a Netflix original. I don't know what this is.
I only included it because this is a massive fucking... Everyone knows who Joe Rogan is. Podcasts like every fucking day.
Who's Joe Rogan?
He does a lot of UFC commentary. That's what I knew him for. And then I found out that he has this podcasting empire in which he discusses a lot of woo-woo shit and nonsense. Like a lot of pseudoscience.
Oh. I thought you meant like people doing the woo-woo.
No.
I was like, what kind of fucking shows are you listening to?
But he's the kind of guy that podcasts every single day for hours a day. And that's his form of income. And then he does do stand-up, and that's what this particular Netflix original is.
Is he going to be on Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee?
He should show up, but he doesn't seem like the kind that Seinfeld would have on. I don't know. I mean, Seinfeld's massive. I don't know who's bigger right now. I guess Joe Rogan is probably way bigger than Seinfeld.
Than Seinfeld?
Because he's active, like really active.
I mean, I get that, but everybody knows the name Seinfeld.
And you did not know who Joe Rogan? You might be right.
Yeah.
You might be right.
And I'm the emperor, so if I don't know him, then who cares? Can you please tweet that to Joe Rogan? My wife says, who cares?
I think one of the Brokehead core can and tag you in it.
Yeah, go. No, don't tag
the first
me.
one
I don't
does.
want him to find me. He's a podcasting empire.
I thought you were just... See, now you're showing your beta-ness. You got to be like, I don't want you tagging me because who cares?
Who fucking cares? I don't care if he knows who I am. Everybody should know who I am because I don't know who the fuck he is.
Also hitting Netflix is something that the DCEU Belugas have some respect for. Not me. I liked Kingpin, but that's it. Daredevil Season 3, Netflix original. For those of you still watching that.
The DC Belugas. Daredevil.
There you go.
I really enjoyed the first season. We didn't enjoy the second season.
We didn't even start the second season because they fucking ruined the Kingpin before the end of the first season.
I thought we started the second season.
Maybe the first episode, but then we found out the fucking Kingpin wasn't really in it.
I did really enjoy the theme song. That was great to dance to.
All 14 minutes of it?
All 14 minutes. Hey, it was still shorter than House of Cards.
That was 15 minutes. Adam Sandler has a Netflix original special called 100% Fresh.
Oh, wow.
That I will be checking out. I'm going to keep going. Castlevania. Season 2.
Who cares? I don't care about Castlevania.
All right, final one then. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Season 1.
All right, I'll watch that.
Also a Netflix original. Spins out of Riverdale.
We still got to finish Riverdale. We don't know who the Man in Black is.
And based on a comic book, too. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. A very delayed, inconsistent fucking release schedule of comics. But it's getting a show, so good for them, I guess.
So, one thing I care about in this whole list. Why didn't you let me pick the list? What else is coming out? What would I care about?
I can't even remember the rest of the list right now.
I think you really only picked your shows.
Look, you can work on the show notes, too.
I try. You don't want to hear about more Vegeta things.
Well, next Netflix list, you can pick out some of these, too. You can add on to it.
All right, I will.
As well, you should.
I'm going to pick out the things that I like.
There you go.
Here's cooking classics. That's what it's going to be.
As long as you can talk about it, sure. Let's talk about, let's bring things down a little bit before we go back up with the Brocat Core, the shining beam that is the Brocat Core. Let's head into the Brocat block this week. And as many of you already know, we had the podcast awards.
Yes.
They came and they went. They were live. We went up with the games and hobbies, which the Brocat Core gifted us with, right? We are forever the 2017 and 2018 Podcast Awards nominated The Reasons I'm Broke podcast on their games and hobbies. The same award show that has the Polygon podcast, Tell 'em Steve Dave, is on there. Massive shows. We ended up not winning at this year's Podcast Awards.
They chose wrong.
I'm not sure what I was a little bit in disbelief. One, I thought, honestly, guys, I thought Polygon was going to take it. Instead, it went to last year's winners, which is Trivial Warfare. And I was like, if Polygon doesn't win, maybe we might get it. Maybe we'll win. And it did not happen, Palpa Kelly. You were watching it live as well.
I was.
What went through the Emperor's head?
I didn't believe it. Because
fake news?
Fake news.
Did the Russians hack it?
You were so convinced that Polygon was going to win, right? And then we didn't win, and these other guys won, and then they showed their acceptance video, and then I just still couldn't believe it.
What'd you think of their acceptance video?
It wasn't for me.
As 2018 Podcast Awards nominated shows.
Listen, I don't want to say too much about it because I haven't listened to the show. I will just say that. I haven't ever listened to their show. I don't know what it's about. But their acceptance video was not very well put together. It was not professional. It was just three people talking over each other.
Ours had Leo.
Ours
did have. I will spoil that for you.
Seen Leo.
That's the one thing that I will let you guys know about is the Podcast Awards suggested that all nominees release their acceptance video to the public. And I thought it was a terrible idea. I'm like, no, why would we do that? Here's this video of us going, hey, thanks guys for voting for us. Why would we ever fucking release that? Instead, we'll thank you guys here on our show. That's how you do it. And that's what we're doing.
So, of course, like we said last year, like we've said all this year, thank you guys so much for voting for us and getting to this point. Our show's only been around for 5 years, and to say that we're now being nominated 2 years in a row for this award is massive. And then hopefully next year we can go home with the gold.
Will the third time be the charm?
Hopefully.
I'm not too sure. It could be. Could be the case. We'll still campaign for it. And the Brocat Core will come through yet again because the 2 times that we've asked them to, they've fucking done it. They've come through. They came back hungrier this year. now you've pissed them off. Like, they're really upset this time.
Now they're mad, and you won't like them when they're mad.
Like, it is beyond the cheer up Charlie from Willy Wonka. We are now in, like,
Charlie.
it is like, not the final countdown. That's not angry enough. We're in Metallica territory for 2019. Like, Mogo was already up, but now Brian's like, what the fuck happened?
I was going to sing a Metallica song, but I couldn't come up with it.
Were you going to do Landmines Have Taken My Sight?
So what's the podcast that won?
It is Trivial Warfare.
Trivial Warfare has taken my award. I don't know.
Taking my votes. Taking my nominees.
Exactly. That still doesn't seem very angry.
Not angry enough.
That's
Holy
not
shit.
angry enough. What is some, like, real shit that you listened to in high school?
What about Papa Roach?
Oh, man.
This is my last resort.
He sang Scars, too, didn't he?
Yeah.
I was going to come up with another song. I can't. We got to move on. I'm not prepared for this. I'm not drinking coffee this episode. It's real difficult.
And you haven't tweeted what's brewing with Palpa Kelli.
I know, because, I mean, I'll tell you right now on this Broquette block what's brewing with Palpa Kelli. Moana, 47 times.
Yeah, because as we mentioned before, Leo's obsessed with that movie.
But we keep watching it.
Because that's what calms him down.
Now I'm, like, hella analyzing everything about my life. That was pretty much my week, is watching Moana with my little man. I am, once again, on a vacation.
Vacations are good, though.
I guess. Well, and I just found out this week that they're forcing me to take vacation anyway, so I have to take even more vacation that I haven't told you about yet, so surprise.
Must be nice.
Listen, it's because they don't want to pay me more next year after they give me that yearly raise.
Well, more bonding time with Leo, and that's priceless.
Yes. I discovered when I went back to work, I am not stay-at-home mom material.
I don't know if I could be stay-at-home dad either.
I went back to work, and everyone's like, how was your bonding? I'm like, I'm real glad I'm back.
Jeez.
But now my whole team keeps sending me Moana memes.
That's funny.
Moana GIFs, and I'm like, can we stop?
All right, let's continue to move forward. And this time we've got the thank yous to everyone that makes the show possible before we head into these Wal-Mart comics, the Patreon shoutouts of the week.
This week we have 4 shoutouts. The first one's going out to Alexander, whose Twitter handle is @SwordfishShow. You can also find him at purpleswordfish.com.
He had a very strong September for his Dead Channel Duo podcast downloads. So that's another show that he also does, as well as Purple Swordfish on his YouTube channel. And on Dead Channel Duo, they cover video games as well as sports. So it's got that perfect combination that you do find that a lot of gamers have. Whether it is MMA or NFL or baseball, they have all of that, plus video games on their podcast. And it's good to know that September was an awesome month for them, because they do have a great show on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcatcher.
Our next shout out goes out to Lourdes and Katie.
Katie picked up the Matina Deathstroke variant that was going for as high as $40 on Tuesday night, which was the day before this particular variant released. It features many villains as well as the Joker, and because it was not on the FOC, the final order cutoffs for comic shops, they did not know what the variant looked like, so they blindly ordered as well as I did. I knew it was a Matina variant. I'm like, okay, I'll just hope that it's a decent one. I ordered about like normal, not any higher, knowing that what was actually on this cover. And because of that, this particular cover is going for quite a bit. But that's Matina for you, and that's the final order cutoffs. They don't always work out for readers or comic shops, but Katie was able to nab one of those.
Our next shout out goes out to Bobby, whose Twitter handle is @CubanSlim.
He's been trying to win Funko Pops on Twitter, including the Target exclusive Venomized Black Panther.
Did he get the Splash Mountain Funko Pop?
I don't know.
Because that thing, like, I heard was fucking crazy. People going nuts.
If he wanted it, I'm sure he could get it.
Of course he could.
As well as being the Amiibo hunter, he is the Funko Pop hunter.
He's the Funk-Meebo hunter.
The Funk-Meebo Cuban Slim.
That should be his new Twitter handle, is Funk-Meebo.
That should be his second Twitter handle.
And our final shout out goes out to Neil, whose Twitter handle is @inmats68.
He wished Mark Hamill, the Joker himself, a happy birthday last week with, quote, Jedi Master, Clown Prince of Crime, and today, birthday boy. Happy birthday @Hamill himself. Have a great one, end quote.
I love that it was two badass things and then a birthday boy.
Those two badass things override that birthday boy.
Of course.
It makes it all up. Why not? It's the Joker himself.
Mm-hmm.
You wish him everything. That's always what we've debated. Like, at this point, is he going to be known as more Luke Skywalker when he passes or as the Joker?
It depends on the crowd. We're going to know him as the Joker, obviously.
What about on articles? Like when they put that up on a news site, I think it's going to be Star Wars.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be Star Wars. That's the more well-known of them.
I guess.
Fine. But thank you guys so much for your support, for being Patreon backers, for helping them make the show what it is.
Huge thanks to DecalAvenue.com for helping us out at the $5 reward tier. Thank you so much, Jose, for the help. And also, you can check out our Discord lounge, which we have a link to in today's show notes. It's up on our official website, thereasonsimbroke.com, where you can also interact with other Brokehead Core members outside of Twitter. If you don't have a Twitter, download the Discord app, click on the link, and you will be linked up with a pretty much an ongoing chat with just Brokehead Core members.
But if you too would like your shout out every single week, very easy. Go to patreon.com/thereasonsimbroke. For as little as $1 a month, as 25 cents an episode, you too could have your shout out.
And let's head into our final portion of the podcast, the comic book highlights of the week.
This week, our highlights are the Wal-Mart exclusive Supergiant comics for DC.
These are the books that comic shops were very upset at. Like, what the fuck, guys? What are you doing, like, giving big-ass retailer Walmart exclusive comics? Now, the thing that pissed us off is that, yeah, it's like a lot of it's reprinted material, but then it'll say all-new Superman story. Like, every single comic has an exclusive story that you can only read if you're reading these Walmart comics. Now, the thing is, these aren't imperative to, like, the rest of your reading that you're picking up at your local comic book shop. So it's not like you have to get these Walmart books to read and be up to date on everything else in the DC universe. But it's still like, that's an extra comic that we're not getting at our LCS. And Julian from Lazy Gaming Guys, who works at Walmart, was able to nab these, which at first, I don't know how difficult they are to get now, but at first they were really hard to get. Like, they were gone because comic readers were like, well, I gotta get these. These are also in that format. Like, if you look at the text and the little stars and the header, it is made in that same old style of the 100-page giants. So it's also nostalgia on top of that. So you're aiming this at your hardcore reader. They're going to make, and they have, made special trips to Walmart just to get these books.
These look like reprintings of other stories, yes?
Yeah, that's what
So you don't even need them in your comic shop. You already got them.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, this is the issue right here, all new story.
Oh.
So that's what we had an issue with.
This is just Batman's parents dying again. How many times?
I will never tire of that. I can watch those two people die all the time.
That's horrible.
Because it creates the greatest superhero of all time.
It does. These are really cool. I'm really impressed with them.
The paper is made from that same stock that DC is going with now. So it's not like that super glossy. It's got that flatter look to them, which we ended up pointing out that it actually does not affect the reading experience at all, for us at least. It's got a less glare when you're actually reading it. I know they had to adjust, and some of the artists have said that when they're coloring their pieces, they have to adjust the type of colors that they use because they know it's going to be printed on this type of color, which is deeper and darker and a little bit more saturated.
Who dis ho that's hitting on Dick Grayson?
The redhead?
Yeah.
Is that not Gordon?
No, that's not. Rhea or some bullshit? I don't know. Some hoe.
Some faceless bitch like Fire Emblem.
She was a faceless bitch. She married my man.
No, these are really neat though. I really, really like these. I think they're perfect especially for Walmart where, yeah, you're not going to get, an ongoing series. You can just be like, here's a comic book. $4.99 for all these fucking pages too on top of that. Like, this is, like, almost as thick as a trade paperback, and those things are $14.99.
It doesn't appear that there's any ads in here either. I mean, except advertising the comic, right?
Exactly.
You're not seeing fucking Snickers in here.
No, not at all. Like, even the back page advertises a DC property, which in this case, in my particular book, because we have 5 of them we're holding here, Teen Titans Go to the Movies is the one I have. The one that Julian was able to track down for us, I don't know which ones you have. I've got Batman #2, Justice League of America #2, and Superman #2, which has Batman fucking punching Superman in the goddamn face.
I have Teen Titans #2, Batman #1, Justice League of America #1, which has Mera and Aquaman getting busy in the back.
Right by the lighthouse. Are you sure that's not his parents?
That's not Aquaman's parents.
You're right. Yeah, he's wearing the orange and
That's
green.
Definitely Aquaman and Mera, because she's sitting here and she's like, come to bed. He's like, I've made my decision. And she's like, what's your decision? And then he says a lot of words that I'm not reading right now, and they kiss.
So be it.
And then there's some fishermen who find this spooky thing.
Oh, that's the New 52 Aquaman, #1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the trench? That's
scary. The trench. Yeah,
They're
we're going to see them in the movie.
You can see their brains.
Yeah, I can't fucking wait to see them in my movie
And then it says to
December.
be continued in Daniel's movie in December. It says that right here on the page. In black writing on a black background. But I know it's there.
It's like a 90s website. Like a lime green text on a white background.
I love 90s websites with the spinning roses. Do you remember those?
And the flaming skulls.
And like the music that was just all like no words. Real pixely sounding.
The one thing we never got and I wanted was the spinning graphic of like that S. You know that S in the 90s, that like kind of graffiti looking S? That should have been a spinning thing.
Where you did like 6 lines and then you connected it and then you felt like a badass because you drew this thing.
I remember I drew that and like with the classmates, they're like, this is how you do it. And it's like, oh, this is kind of cool. And like I drew it on my notebook and like my mom and dad freaked out because they thought it was a gang thing. They're like, no, like they thought I was going down that path.
Right.
Like now it's funny, but it's like, if like, otherwise, if you don't know those symbols, it's like, what the fuck is this?
I didn't know what it was. Like somebody drew it, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this devil stuff that they're drawing?"
It looks Mexican-y enough to where like my parents
really? They thought it was
like
a gang symbol.
Oh yeah,
wow.
Definitely. You got to remember where we lived at for many years. Chicago, Algonquin.
Oh, okay.
You're like, I don't know what that is.
No, I don't know what that is. Oh, look, you got Super Sons in here.
Nice.
This is awesome. These are definitely worth it. 100%. Now you got this like gold guy getting his face squished.
Oh, Sideways. That's the villain in Sideways.
Who? What? I'm very confused.
DC's Spider-Man. There's even New 52 Nightwing in these.
I don't like him.
The one thing that does work out, and this is what Scott Snyder pointed out, and I'm sure they have these trades at Walmart too, but if they don't, because their stock is probably not as good as your local comic shop, is they do advertise the trade paperback. So even though you got one issue of Nightwing New 52, it'll say, hey, if you want to read the rest, here's where you can get the rest. And that's what Snyder was saying. And even Tom King, they were saying that, look, we're not for the exclusivity. We reluctantly agreed to this, but we know that this will bring in readers to comic book shops.
Yeah, I really like this because, like, they have the new Teen Titans in here, but it doesn't have a trade, so it says read the entire series, and then it lists the numbers behind it. So it's pretty much saying you've already read this one. Here are the other, because it starts with number 4.
It says volume 4.
Oh,
so
man.
it's the trades. It's still the trades, though. Yeah, those books are old. Like, New Teen Titans #2 is first appearance of Deathstroke. No one's gonna, hey, do you have this? Yeah, I want to read it. It's not gonna happen.
Somebody might. You don't know. Do you know everyone?
And I'm gonna sell them a $400, like, here's #2.
Here you go.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you so much, Julian. Like, this is fucking awesome, and I'm repaying him in Epcot drinks and food.
There you go.
So that works out for him as well.
He also included a receipt here for some bottled water.
I want to have him. Let me see this. That is hilarious. I'm gonna have him sign this. It's got his discounts in here, everything. That is cool. It's got when he bought these. San Antonio, Texas. Thank you so much, man. Like, I'm really happy with these. Like, they are really neat. Like, I am going to go through them. I'm going to read them, collect them. I think it was Brian that was able to track some of these down, too, a few months back. So, these are our first ones, and they're going to be lovingly read.
And with that, we will wrap up our podcast for the day. We're going to have a really busy week for you guys. So next week, look forward to a review of Venom.
Yes.
We are going to go see that. We're also going to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, so we can tell you how much fun that is.
As well as Epcot, which I will have gone with Lazy Gaming guys. Yep. So you might have seen the live stream tweets already, and we'll talk about that next week too.
But that does wrap up what we have for you guys this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Just like you guys do every single week, we really do have the best fans.
And honestly, thank you so much for the Podcast Awards nomination. That is such an amazing thing that we can put 2018 Podcast Awards nominated on our graphics now, right here on iTunes, on Stitcher, on SoundCloud, everywhere. Maybe not SoundCloud. Like SoundCloud's going away, but on your favorite podcatcher. And that's on our business cards. We've got the little winners thingy on there. And I'm really happy. Like, it was such an awesome campaign and journey and endeavor. But at the end of the day, as we said on Twitter, we're going to continue to, not going back to, but continue to focus on just bringing you the best show that we can each week. It's not about like, well, now we're going to keep doing this to win next year. It's like, no, like if we win, great. But the goal is to bring you a quality show because you are tuning in, you are downloading, you are voting, you are supporting us, and that's what matters at the end. You guys are the fuel, not the awards.
But as always, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Palpa Kelli.
And I'm Darth Vader Daniel.
And Brocat Core, all will be well.